Hi friend, welcome. My name is Darya and I'm a Leela Game guide. And if you're wondering what the heck does that mean, please stay along because that's exactly what we're going to answer today. I'm going to talk about the self-knowledge game, the Leela Game. What is it? Where did it originate from? What are the rules? For whom is it? What's the whole purpose? So let's get started. What is Leela Game? Leela Game is an ancient tool for self-discovery dating back to over 2,000 years ago. It is originating from Vedic psychology and philosophy, so ancient seers were playing this game many thousands of years ago. And self-discovery is something that happens to us on a small scale every day. Remember the time where you heard someone say, "Oh, I've been to Bali, I loved it so much." And your brain goes like, "Wow, I absolutely would love to visit Bali." Boom. You just discovered about yourself that you would like to visit Asia. That's amazing. That's one self-discovery point into your life. Leela Game is exactly about that. It helps you to access those small inner truths about yourself that are hiding somewhere deep down below. And as it is a game, it feels much more safe and you can remain open-minded, whether it is a spiritual quest that you're fulfilling or some materialistic goal. The Leela game board looks like the good old snakes and ladders game that we all played when we were 6 years old. The Leela game board has 74 tiles that are logically placed in 8 rows of total, and every tile represents a single state of being. And if you're wondering what is a state of being, then here's an example. You know, the state when you don't feel like you have enough to make it by the end of the month? Well, that's greed. Or when your boss is telling you that you have to work overtime and you really don't want to and you feel angry. Or on the other hand, when you win a shiny gold medal after running for 10 kilometers, that's happiness, bliss, or whatever you may call it. Every tile is a different state. Leela game philosophy is very simple. Every state of being is a resource. And you are here to discover which states of being can be specifically your resources in your unique life and case. How do you start the game? First, we always start by setting an intention. There's this famous quote by Tony Robbins that says, "Where attention goes, there energy flows." Intention can be anything. It can be a sentence, a question, a word, a feeling. It is important that you personally can understand that. And if you can share it, that's even better. I have had people play who were looking for a new job, their life purpose, being in a healthy relationship, finding that healthy partner, developing their femininity. It can be literally anything that has been on your mind for the past week or so, or maybe months. And it's also okay to have no intention. A lot of people come like that as well, and that's why I'm here to help you discover your intention with some meditative techniques. Now that you have your intention, we move to the step number 2, which is entering the game. For this, we take our dice, we have our intention at the back of our head, and we roll the dice, and it lands. Oh, it's free. That means we didn't enter the game. In order to enter the game, the player must roll 6 on the dice, and then the game starts. It can take 1, 2, 3 tries, or even a whole hour to find that one right intention that will let you into the game. But when you find it, pay attention to why did this time it worked and before it did not. What did you change about the way you think? Remember to note down that question or intention or words of yours in your notebook so that you keep track of it throughout the entire game and you kind of stay in the same focus. Now you're in, so how to play? You roll your magic dice once again and then it lands on 5. So you make your moves. You go first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You end up at the entertainment. So the questions are, do you experience this state in your life? How often? What associations does this tile raises in your brain? Do you like being in this state or no? How can this state be actually a resource of yours, or maybe it is dragging you down? In this sneaky little way, you get to discover what does this thing means in your life. And on every tile, you're allowed to cry, speak, laugh, dance, move, sits in silence, anything that feels good to you. And if you feel like sharing, if we're playing in a group setting, please do, because by sharing, you might open up new insights for other people as well as for yourself. So you continue playing. But how does the board actually work? All 74 states are placed in logical order, starting from the survival all the way up to higher consciousness, bliss, and spiritual attunement, and so forth. In East, it is referred to as chakra system concept, and in the West, you could call it Maslow pyramid of needs, where first you need to cover your basic needs, and then you move forward to social needs, self-realization, and so forth. Some states are linked by snakes and arrows, just like in the kids' game with snakes and ladders. So snakes drag you all the way down, for example, as egotism can drag you down to anger, because we feel anger when our ego is not meeting what it wants. And the same way we have arrows, for example, as a supreme goal brings you all the way up to self-realization, because you know what path to follow, and so you realize yourself in this world. The first game level is all about survival and physical body. Here you can find your limiting beliefs, fears, relationship with your family and body. It is your root chakra. Here are also things that we need to attain to be safe and secure. For example, greed, it's not only about possessiveness, it's also about having enough possessions to be able to say that I feel safe and I feel secure. The main lesson here is to learn to take responsibility for what happens to you and exit that victim mindset that life just happens to you, but actually instead you are choosing the life that is happening to you. And when you learn this lesson, you can enter level number 2, which corresponds to our sacral chakra. This is our energy center of the entire body. This is where we get our creative energy, the sexual energy, energy to move around the day. Here we learn which states of being help us to recharge our own inner battery. As for example, entertainment can fill in this emotional body of ours and make us last much longer if we would just work all the time, right? The main lesson here is to learn how to accumulate and keep your energy. As soon as you learn that lesson, you end up on the level number 3, which is the solar plexus, the seat of self, the ego. It is a place from which we take action because we know what we want, we have the energy for it, and we pursue our own goals. The main question here is, what can I do to make my desires happen? The main lesson here is to learn how to take the right decisions and actions that not only are for self-satisfaction, but will also bring higher goods to everyone around you. And that's when you enter the 4th level, which is the heart chakra level. This is a place right in the middle of our body, which means this is a place of balance where we know how to balance between ourself and the humanity, how to do whatever we want and be whatever we want while keeping this interaction with the rest of the world. Here you can learn to tap into what is your heart telling you to do type of mindset. And there comes the 5th level, which is all about self-expression. Because here you already learned so much. You worked on your limiting beliefs, you learn how to accumulate the energy, what to do and how to do it. And now you're like, oh damn, I feel like I would like to share this with other people, because now that I know this, it should be spread and taught to others as well. It is connected to our throat chakra, so the way we speak and teach others. This is why the central tile there is called self-realization. The trick here is to accept your experiences and use them for the right purpose. At the same time, not thinking that you are the only one who knows what's the best thing to do, that you are the only one who knows the truth. The trick is that there are so many truths and nobody is right or wrong, because for everyone it's very different. And if you're able to still continue learning while being a teacher, that's when you can enter the level number 6, which is connected to the all-famous, all-seeing third eye chakra. The main quality of this level is clarity. It is a place of pure knowledge, of intuitive knowing how things work. Here you don't need to try and wonder what the hell should I be doing. Here you simply know what you are doing and you need to be stuck to it. The main lesson here is whether do you simply know, or does your behavior correspond with your knowledge? knowing isn't equal doing. So if you actually read something in the book like, oh, it's really good to meditate in the morning, and I know that, but you're not doing it, you're not going to experience the benefits of morning meditation. And as soon as you do that, that's when you enter the level number 7, which corresponds to the top of your head, your Sahasrara chakra, if you're familiar. It is the place of wisdom. It's the place where all the universal laws reside. So here you understand the cause and effect relationships, why things happen the way they do, and it's much more easier for you to go around life here. And the main trick here is, can you integrate the lessons that you have learned and the knowledge that you have learned, or are you going to fall down the traps of egotism, so acting only out of your own good, or actually not giving yourself enough and just sacrificing yourself? Or are you not going to do anything and you're going to fall down the snake of tamas, darkness? In case you manage to go all the way up, you're going to end up on the last and 8th level, where you get the chance to exit the game by going into the cosmic consciousness. And let me tell you, you will end up there as soon as you have your exact answer to your question, when you understand what exact steps you need to take in order to make your desire happen. And if there's something else left for you to do, you will have to go all the way down to the 74th tile, inertia, and move back into the 7th level and continue game from there, integrating the new lessons that you have learned again. The philosophy of the game is vast and so interesting that it really takes playing it to truly be able to integrate it. And it doesn't have to be a spiritual thing. It can be purely materialistic tool that can be used to help also overcome depression and likewise conditions. Are there other rules to remember? Yes. You have only one dice and you make as many moves as the points tell you. But if the dice lands on 6 throughout the game, that means that not only you just said something very, very important and you should highlight that thought with many, many lines so that you really remember it, but you also can roll your dice again and sum up your points. Are there any tips for the game? The main tip is to have a notebook and actually take notes while you're playing. So track down every tile that you step into and maybe write down the key insights, and especially the actions that you can be taking. Because the game will show you the way how to make your desire happen, but it is up to you to take those actions and steps so that this actually happens in your real physical life. And what about group games? Group games are magical. I highly recommend listening to other players when we're playing in a group and we're going in a circle, because that makes you have 3 or 4 times as many self-realizations than you would have by just playing alone. Even though alone you can play in more depth because I'll be there to guide you for every single step. But in the group game you get to hear more opinions and people. And when you land on a tile and you feel like it's not ringing any bell and we're playing in a group, then you're always free to either self-reflect on your own, or you can also take a card helper that will be laying next to the board and just use some questions that I wrote down there so you can integrate them with yourself and you can share in your next round if you feel so. I am just your guide here, and it is your stories and your feelings that make up the whole game for you. And they are always so welcome. We come here together to listen and inspire each other. I think it was quite a long video, but I really tried to explain the main key concepts here so that you feel more comfortable during the game and more aware of what's going to happen. I feel like it's very important so that everyone feels safe in this whole setting. And thank you for taking this time to get introduction to the Leela game. If you already have booked a game, then I see you soon. And if you're considering booking a game in just by yourself, one-on-one, then you can find the link down below to my webpage or just DM me on Instagram. And if it's a group game, same, you can just DM me personally and we can arrange the setting either in person in Denmark or online. Is always an option. Remember to bring your beautiful self, pen and a notebook on the day. Remember that the game also lasts 4 hours, so either eat beforehand or bring some snacks with you. I'm very open-minded about that, and I hope to see you soon. If you have any questions, just write them down in the comments below or message me privately on Instagram.